Hey everyone, how's it going? I know it's been a few weeks since I posted my last vlog, but I want to talk about this subject. It's been something that's been on my mind for quite a while, and I've been putting it off because I'm kind of insecure talking about it, but it's something that I'm passionate about, so I want to go ahead and share it with you guys. Alright, so just getting right into it, about 20 months ago I met someone who ended up becoming very close to me, one of my best friends to this day, and they represented something that I didn't realize is something that's very important to me too, and I kind of had like shelved it and put it in the back of my mind because I just didn't see it reflected in the community and other people, so I kind of honestly just kind of gave up on it without even realizing it, just slowly over time. So I realized, you know, as a kid growing up, I've always been like the type that was hopelessly romantic. I would, you know, think about meeting my one true love and, you know, typical Disney fairy tale romance relationship ideals. I'm very much a hopeless romantic. That's just, it's in my blood. That's how I am. I act and live from my heart. But growing up, I think over time, and especially in the gay community, I have to say, seeing how little of an emphasis there is on relationships and romance and chivalry, I guess it's more what's considered conservative ideals, but there really isn't a lot out there in the gay community as far as role models, people who are living to those ideals, and those that are in committed relationships and are upholding those ideals are not as vocal, so it's not heard about as much. So I think primarily on a subconscious level, not seeing that for so many years, I just kind of was like, okay, well this isn't my reality. This isn't what being gay is gonna have to offer me, so I'm just gonna buy into what I see around me, which happens to be, you know, a more like hooking up kind of lifestyle. And it's like you go on a date and you hook up right away, or you don't even go on a date, you just meet and hook up, and that's that. And that was part of my growth as a person, to realize the value of my body and of my soul, of my person, who I am. That's not being true to who I am and what I want, what I desire. And I would argue that some of that clearly is what put me in the position to where I exposed myself to HIV and how I mistreated myself. I didn't value myself enough to take careful precautions, to be, you know, that isn't to say that hooking up is an issue, because in of itself, hooking up is not an issue. It's only an issue if, for you as an individual, that's not really what you want. So anyway, back to my friend. So I met this person, and they were very much of the mindset that they do not care for hooking up. It's not what they want to do. It's not who they are. They would rather be seriously dating someone or in a relationship to kind of like share that kind of intimacy. And it just kind of reminded me, it kind of like opened that up inside me, and it made me realize, like, that's who I am. That's how I think. That's what I care about. That's what I feel is important to me too. And I don't know why I've been living this way, where I'm like, for so long I've been doing the grinder thing, you know, those apps and websites, hooking up with people. Kind of gave up on the search for like true love and romance, and kind of saving yourself for something special like that. So that was eye-opening for me. And I'm really thankful that this person came into my life, because now I've revisited that, and I decided that alright, so I gotta be totally honest here. At first, this endeavor to be celibate, I guess, with the goal of sharing this kind of intimacy with someone that I'm seriously dating or being in a relationship with, was directly tied to this person, okay? I have feelings for this person. And at first, that's the main reason why I changed my behavior. Admired this, respected it so much that I wanted to embody it as well. Over time, that became less of the reason, and it was more just about myself. Just realizing that that's truly just who I want to be in general, with or without this person in my life. So 20 months is a long time. And it's not easy. Like, I'm a guy, I have hormones, I'm pretty young. I think more than just sex, not having sex is the lack of intimacy that I miss. 'Cause I realize the real reason why I would hook up with guys is because, it's not because I was so horny and I wanted to have sex, it's because I wanted intimacy. I wanted to be touched. I wanted to cuddle. I wanted to be held. I wanted to have that closeness with another human being. That's something that's really important to me. And so that's probably the number one thing that I miss. And I feel like talking to other gay guys, that a lot of times the reason why they hook up is for the same thing. And a lot of guys tell me, like, I don't even enjoy hooking up. I don't feel good after. It doesn't do it for me. But I feel like so many guys in the gay community are desperate. So desperate for a feeling of belonging, a feeling of intimacy, of being close, of not feeling alone. And so they get it through this hooking up. You get just a little taste of it. Unfortunately, that's not really enough to sustain you, so then you gotta find the next person, and the next person, and the next person, and it goes on and on and on. And I don't know, it's kind of sad because there's so many guys out there who they don't even like it. And what does that do to your psyche and your sense of self-worth when you're kind of like throwing your body around like that and that's not even who you want to be. So why do I think it's important to share my sex life with the whole internet community? Well, I think, first of all, like I said, prior to meeting this person, I didn't really have anyone in my life to go, oh, you know, they're doing it, like, I can too. Why not? Why wouldn't I? So I think it's important to share my decision with my sex life, because I think some people just need permission to say, no, I'm gonna buck the status quo. I'm not gonna do what everybody else is doing. And I'm gonna live life the way that I want to, that's true to my heart and true to who I wanna be, and that respects myself as a human being. Because our bodies are so precious, and our psyche is so precious, and the things that we do to ourselves and the situations we put ourselves in has such a lasting impact on ourselves. So I really wanna just be an example. And I'm not saying, please, I know that people are gonna respond and say like that I'm demonizing hooking up, and that I'm not, I promise you. Hooking up in of itself I have no problems with it. And I know it's big in the gay community especially. It's all about sexual liberation. But at what expense? So if you are okay with hooking up, if you like it, it's what you're about at this time in your life, you got no problems with it, you got no anything, you're not looking for love or anything like that, please, by all means, do you. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to those guys out there who are silently, quietly hurting inside, who are desperate for intimacy, for closeness with another guy, and so they agree, almost as payment, I will give you sex if you give me intimacy. And I think that's really sad. And I think it's important to let you know, if you are one of those guys, you don't have to buy into that. You don't have to, I don't know, disrespect yourself like that, to be honest, because that's what it is at the end of the day. And I want to show you that it's possible. You can be happy In fact, what it has forced me to do is find that solace and that intimacy with myself. And it's hard sometimes. I'm not gonna lie. It can be very difficult. There are ways that you can take care of it on your own, as I'm sure most of you are aware. If not all, I hope. That's another video. Looking back, had I known that I would have gone this long, I wouldn't have thought that I could make it this long. But it's a day by day kind of thing. And I don't know. I feel stronger now because I'm doing this, and I feel like now that I've gotten this far, sex for me is such an intimate thing. It's such a special thing for me that now I built it up too. So I can't just give it up. I can't just I've gone 20 months. I can't just go and hook up with somebody now. Like it has to be something momentous and special now, you know, which is cool. I like that. I think it's cool. So I'm excited and I feel good about myself, and I feel like I'm living in alignment with who I want to be, and that's just like really, there's nothing that can really replace that. And so I encourage you, if you're one of those guys and you're out there and you're feeling like shit about yourself after you hook up with somebody and you're doing it just because you want this quick little moment of connecting with someone and what it might be like or could be like to be in a relationship with somebody, if you have that and you feel like you're acting in conflict with yourself, I encourage you to, I don't know, pray on it, meditate, just sit with yourself and think like, is that really what you want to do? You don't have to. Everybody's not doing that. There are a lot of people out there, a lot of guys out there who aren't living that way. And the truth is, so think about it this way. What do you want out of a partner? What do you want out of someone that you're eventually going to meet, out of a love? Do you want to meet someone who you know is just hooking up all the time? Or would you be blown away if you met a guy who was saving himself for someone special and not just throwing himself around like whatever, like something that doesn't have that much value? What are you looking for? Are you looking for that guy who's going to be romantic and treats sex as something really special between two people who love each other? If that's true, don't you think that that guy that you're looking for is going to be looking for that from you as well? And if you're out there hooking up, secretly wanting that romantic relationship, that special intimacy, well, you got to realize you have to be that person too for the person that's looking for you. Because you guys are both looking for the same thing. Eventually y'all are going to find each other, but don't you want to be that guy when you meet that other person? Does that make sense? Like, I want to be who I'm looking for. Because those are the traits I'm looking for in someone else, and that person that I'm looking for is looking for those traits in someone like me too. So I got to go ahead and be that person before I meet them. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know, that's just something to chew on, something to think about. Again, guys, if you're okay with hooking up, you have no problem with it, and that's what you want to do, by all means. As always, be safe, take your careful precautions, be smart about it, but I'm not talking to you, and I'm not judging it, and I'm not saying it's a negative thing. What I'm saying is, if you're of the mindset that you don't actually enjoy it, and you want something else, then live it. And don't buy into the notion that you have to be anything or anyone other than who your heart and your mind is telling you you need to be. All right? I'm gonna hold you to it. Let me know in the comments what you think. Any questions, as always, I'm gonna answer them. And please, please, please like and subscribe if you like this video. Share it with somebody else if you think someone might enjoy it as well or get something out of it. And let's start a dialogue. All right, you guys. Thanks. Talk to you soon. Bye.